Hey there, friends and viewers. This is Hengest here with the Vegan Gamers. Welcome back to another Age of Empires 4 video. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you one of the 1v1 matches I played recently. And this is on the quick match ladder. At the time of this recording, there still is not ranked play, so I'm still climbing the ladder. I'm still really starting out. I've only played a few games of quick match 1v1, and I've played a couple games 2v2 with my wife, Sweet D. Yes, those of you who have been following the Vegan Gamers for a little while, or just following me, Hengest, for, I don't know, the past 10 years throughout various channels, I have finally gotten married. I said the words, I signed the documents. The Vegan Gamers are officially wed. I just want to share that little something with you. It's going well. Not as well as it probably will be for my opponent, however, because... I'm just kidding. No spoilers. I'm not really sure what I plan on doing with Age of Empires 4. In the past, I've played games like this, particularly MOBA games, and I just kind of shared all the matches that I played. I'm not an esports player. I'm probably never gonna be an esports player or try to aspire to be one. It just doesn't interest me. But that being said, I might do some casts of high-level pro matches. Let me know if you guys are interested in seeing that. Maybe I'll give it a try. I know that oh goodness, look at that. That's not even the English town center. All I did was I garrisoned 5 villagers in that town center and wiped out that scout. The English, actually, I believe their town center fires twice as fast. I'm used to that one. I don't play the Romans as often, but that was pretty awesome. I like to play really aggressively against the enemy scout. I don't let them just run their scout right through the center of my base like a lot of people do. I'll actually micro my peasants to wipe out the scout. You can see that I wasted quite a bit of time, especially when I was farting around with the misclick on ungarrisoning my villagers from the town center, but it's whatever. I mean, he loses his scout, he loses his intelligence, he loses his vision. That is a fair trade in my book. I'll get better at it over time. Anyways, yeah, let me know if you guys are interested in watching some esports level casts. Everyone has access to the replays, you know. Doesn't make any of the YouTubers out there special to post a video of a pro level match. You know what I'm saying? There's not insider access. Everyone has access to it in this game. You can just look up the pro players and view their matches. Welcome to the year 2021. Look at this pathing here from the enemy player. Oh, what is his name again? Wade Schamberger. He is just... God, this is so inefficient. Those of you guys watching, you're trying out Age of Empires, you're just starting out. Put a mill down right next to these berry bushes. Look at all this wasted transit time. As you can see, I've still got some climbing to do, but I don't know. I just wanted to post because it's been a while. I haven't posted any videos at all for like well over a year, and I really miss it. You know, I have a full-time job that is not YouTube or content creation related, and so I don't really have time to like climb the ladder, put in 100 matches, get to the really high level, and then start making videos. You know what I'm saying? So this is just a relaxing thing for me. I think I'm gonna speed this up though, because it's just, this guy is moving way too slowly. So the reason I wanted to post this video was because I thought it was interesting. The thing about the Romans is that they're really good with buildings. Maybe the Chinese have more durable walls and towers than the Romans do, but there's some really interesting perks, I think, that have been implemented in the Roman Empire that I would like to see. Maybe some balancing, the dev team tinkering with it a little bit. In this match, really what I wanted to try was garrisoning a relic inside of a tower, because that's one cool thing about the Romans is you can put a relic inside a tower to increase its vision and its range, and that's like totally unique to the Romans. So I did a little bit of scouting on Wade down here, and I saw that he was going to build this council hall. Finally, he puts a mill up. But you can see he put it right next to the river, which you can build docks on this map, and I could just come down here with an attack ship and easily destroy that pretty safely. It also doesn't allow him to build farms in a 360-degree radius around that mill, so he's not getting the best return on it. English obviously have the best return on farms, especially in the late game. Anyway, I scouted the council hall, and I can kind of tell that Wade is a newer player. Even when I was doing this live and I didn't have, I couldn't view him via spectator and see what he was doing with his peasants. This is actually the first time I watched this replay. But I kind of assumed that he's an English player. He's on the new side, so he's probably going to start massing longbows. I mean, that's pretty much what all English players do. Even at the high level, you'll see people massing longbows early. And one cool thing about the Romans is that they can get, like the English, they can get men-at-arms at age 2, at the feudal age. And they can actually upgrade their men-at-arms better than any other civilization. In other words, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they have the strongest men-at-arms in the game. And so they're actually really well suited to counter the British, or I should say the English, because the English rely so heavily on longbows. I mean, this is basically their only viable tier 2 landmark, the council hall, and all you can do with it is build and upgrade archers. So if you get out some early men-at-arms, I was really relaxed this match because I didn't feel like I had to worry about longbows because I had 2 early barracks and I just started putting out men-at-arms, and I felt comfortable that even if I got longbow rush, I could deal with it. You just need just a handful of men-at-arms to negate a longbow rush. And obviously, that was my first video. It's really common to longbow rush people, especially in the early stages of the ladder climb. And so I just wanted to be prepared for it. And you can see that for my landmark, I ended up going with the religious one, the Aachen Chapel, which allows me to inspire all of the units within this circumference. Yeah, that's right. Within the perimeter of this glow right here, this area of effect, as long as I have a prelate garrisoned in there. So all of these peasants are going to be increasing their productivity. Obviously this gold mine is out of range. I could have probably built my base a little bit better around this chapel so that I could inspire more of my villagers, but this is pretty good placement. I'm inspiring my lumber gatherers and my farmers right now, so that's food and lumber, and I have plenty of workers on gold, so I'm able to just pump out those men-at-arms. All men-at-arms cost are gold and food. And I also have this prelate right here. He is busy at work inspiring all my gold farmers so that I can really have a powerful economy. It's very similar to the Chinese when their imperial official will, when he'll supervise a production building. It's a very similar effect. I don't know which is stronger. I should probably figure that out. But yeah, I was scouting and I could see that my opponent was building mills out there in the contested ground, or light ground, which is a bit unusual considering that he's English and it's much more lucrative for him to build farms. But this is also a pretty decent way to kind of scout out the area so that you know when the enemy is approaching. But I personally would not do it because you put the villagers right there and he doesn't even have a tower, and somebody could easily come in with cavalry or archers and wipe them out really quick. I was at the same time building this outpost because I wanted vision of Wade's movements. I already got this outpost up, and I'm building this outpost because there are only 2 ways out of Wade's base. That's this bridge right here and this crossing right here, this land bridge, naturally occurring bridge. And vice versa, there's also 2 entrances to my base. This is kind of like a 4v4 map, but it's the micro edition, so it's really small. It's a map sized for 2 players instead. What is the name of this map? It's called the Confluence. It's actually one of my favorite maps because if you like to turtle, which I do every once in a while, it's a great map for that, but it's also really easy to keep tabs on your opponent. I also want to point out that I got really fortunate with my relic spawns in this match. I have 4 in this quadrant right here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see him on the minimap. There's also another one right over here. And compared to Wade, I mean, I think I definitely got the better end of that exchange in terms of the RNG. It's really important that the Roman player possesses the relics. They're really centered around religion, the Romans. That's actually what their description says in the Learn tab of the game. And that is because they're able to utilize relics better than anybody else. And you're going to see that with my Castle Age landmark. I'm going to move very shortly here to go obtain those relics and bring them back to my base. But I also spent quite a few resources on men-at-arms because I just wanted to be prepared for a longbow rush should it come. I've also got some up here. There was an enemy villager that was scratching around up to the north of my base. So I just want to verify that there wasn't anything fishy going on up here. And then I now have vision of my entire quadrant. I have sight on Wade whenever he leaves his quadrant into one of the other 2 contested quadrants with this tower going up. So I have great vision in this map. I feel really comfortable at this point that I am able to focus on teching, because if there's any sort of really early play, then I'm going to know about it and I'll be able to adapt in time. Okay, so I'm massing quite a few men-at-arms. This is kind of a mono-unit strategy, and it's because they're really safe play. And you can see that Wade has 2 archery ranges, 1 barracks, and a council hall. So he too is going to be massing one type of unit predominantly. And it looks like Wade just discovered that I am building this wall right here. There are 2 types of walls you can build, in my opinion. There is offensive walls and defensive walls. And really, I would say defensive walls are much easier to work with if you're a new player. Offensive walls are a lot riskier and they're much more difficult to defend. My opponent has all of his economy in here. He can easily build a siege works and just start pumping out artillery to break this wall. However, I know that he's not expanded into either of the 2 contested quadrants on this map, so my strategy here is to contain him, to starve him out. This is how you begin a conservative siege of an enemy's base. I could also go for the sacred victory, but he's got a sacred site right in his base, so that's not really an option for me. My other option is, of course, to build a wonder, but this is going to end the match much faster if I go for these offensive walls. And you can see that Wade didn't like that one bit, and he sent all of his forces out to stop the completion of that wall, because he doesn't have any siege equipment, and he probably doesn't want to be contained within his base this early. So I ended up losing my villager and 1 man-at-arms. I garrisoned the other 3 men in this tower. I'm not even sure if Wade knew about it, but I also attacked him from the other side of the map. Through this bridge right here, I had the bulk of my infantry, and I just want to come in and show him, hey man, I'm capable of attacking you on both sides. I'm not afraid to dive your towers with my men-at-arms just to get a few peasant kills. It's a fair trade for me. So Wade now knows that I'm in control of this map, that I'm able to attack him from both sides, and he hasn't even scouted out my base really since he lost his scout early. And I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't grab these relics earlier. I was really focused on this strategy of containing my opponent inside these walls, because I haven't actually sieged somebody this way, but it's honestly a really awesome strategy if you're able to get up these stone walls. It requires you to plan them ahead of time because you have to harvest the stone beforehand. You can't just decide, oh, I'm gonna go wall in my opponent right now and then start collecting the stone. You can see that I have 600 stone right now. over 600, and I've almost completed this wall. These walls are actually really difficult to deal with in the feudal age if you don't have any artillery. And I would say they're even hard to deal with in the castle age because you don't exactly have money to throw down on bombards while you're stuck in the castle age. You really need a strong economy to siege somebody. And in Wade's case, he's actually being contained within his base right now, and he doesn't have the economy to fund a siege. But that's precisely what he has to do to get out of this situation. At least, right? He's not completely walled in yet, but he's getting close. I'm quickly moving in that direction. So I've actually never been walled in before, and this is the reason I wanted to share this video, because I don't see it a lot out there. It's probably really hard to do when the match is even. You know what I'm saying? If you're going up against a player of equal or greater skill, it's probably really hard to win by walling them in. But you certainly can wall off certain access points to the map effectively in a competitive match. I'm not saying you can't wall somebody in and win in a competitive match. I'm just saying it's really risky. And experienced player is going to be able to deal with it with a couple early trebuchets as long as their economy is healthy. In Wade's case, his economy is pretty healthy. He's even got his market up, and he's trading with this trade post right here. But you know, this is really slow income. He's quickly gonna mine out his native gold mines. I think that's his last one. Oh no, he has another one over here. That's his last one. So this is actually not that much gold that he has. There's 4,000 gold, another 1,200 in there for him, and then this is another 4,000 gold vein. Oh, I totally missed this one. So he has a total of, what is that, 12,000 gold that spawned in his quadrant of the map, but he's already harvested 1/3 of it almost. And so if this match were to go on into the Imperial Age, he's going to run out of gold rather quickly. And you can see that I'm also mining my own vein. I've got another one up here, but I'm going to quickly transition my villagers to harvesting the veins that are closest to his base. That is the strongest strategy. Harvest your opponent's resources so that you have your own in the late game. And you can see I put in quite a few resources to walling in Wade on the other entrance to his base, and this wall is completed. I've got 2 stone wall towers up, as well as these 2 outposts back here, which I have upgraded their defenses. They're stone towers now compared to the weaker wooden tower, which is easy to burn right there. I haven't yet upgraded the weapons on it because I wanted to see if Wade is able to mount an effective assault first before I put in the resources to upgrade guns on these vanguard towers right here. The stone wall towers are plenty of damage against heavy infantry, against cavalry, even artillery. If the artillery get hit by these springald shots, they're going to be taking massive damage. So now I have finally, disappointing that it took so long, started moving these relics into my base with my tier 3 landmark, the Regnitz Cathedral. So I went full-blown religion in this match. I got the chapel and I got the cathedral, and I am now moving these relics into my cathedral. Now once I get 3 of those in that base, I'm going to be having the best gold income in the game. And you can even double it up. You can get the remaining 2 relics and put that in your monastery, and you'll just be so wealthy. You have so much gold, you don't even know how to spend it. You have to trade it at a market, otherwise you're just not utilizing the income. So it's really nice mid to late game if you're playing as the Romans to have control of the relics. And you can see that Wade has this huge archer force, 31 archers. But he hasn't used them because he's been contained inside his own base by these stone walls. And these springald shots from the stone wall towers are dealing very little damage to this dock here. But it's enough, you know. In order to repair this, he has to put his villagers in range of the stone wall towers, and I know he doesn't want to do that. This is ironic because it's the only way out of his base at this point without sieging these stone walls. He can actually build transport ships, and he can move them outside of his quadrant of the base, or excuse me, of the map. But I have outposts all over the map, so I'm gonna know exactly when he makes a play like that, and I'm just gonna move my army into position. And I think at this point, Wade has realized that he can't win this game unless he attacks. And this is a big problem with a lot of new players, is they're really heavily focused on building an army, but they're not attacking at all during that time. And while Wade has been constructing his army and upgrading it, I have already built stonewall towers on both sides of his base. And you can see that these men-at-arms are already upgraded. They're supported by prelates, and there's towers for them to garrison in. And this is what I really wanted to experiment with, is garrisoning the relic inside a tower. I've never done this before, but look at these buffs. Armor increase 50%, damage increase 35%, slight range increase 25%, weapon range increase 20%. Oh, it says sight range. So those are some major buffs on towers, and you can even garrison a relic inside a keep with the Roman Empire, and then you get the same buffs on your keep. So you can imagine putting cannon emplacements and springald emplacements on a keep, and garrisoning 20 people in the keep, and having the relic in there. I mean, it's just next level. So here Wade goes. He's decided, I've got to attack this guy. He's slowly destroying my base with his towers. And he wisely built a siege workshop and has now got out one trebuchet. And I think he just canceled another one. He's got to farm more lumber because trebuchets are really expensive. They cost 400. Excuse me, I think they cost 500 lumber. Yeah, 500 lumber, 250 gold. So it's a really sizable investment, and you do not want to lose those trebuchets once you've constructed them. So I see this massive attack from Wade, although all he really has is this archer force and a trebuchet. The men-at-arms are really not a threat to me because they can't get through the wall. So I go ahead and grab as many peasants as I could that were harvesting these two mining camps, and I just repair the damage being done by the trebuchet, and then I build more stonewall towers, and look at these men-at-arms just being destroyed by the springalds inside those towers. So much single target damage. These longbows are even in range of the springald towers. And fortunately for Wade, the trebuchets are out of range, so I've got to deal with those. But I'm playing this very safely. I've got some prelates there to heal my men-at-arms. I've lost a couple here to the longbows, just defending the walls a little bit. But I don't have to leave my defenses here because there isn't enough incoming siege damage to threaten my wall as long as I'm able to repair them. It does cost me resources to repair it though. And these archers are not a threat to my buildings. So he's just going to slowly lose those, and it's got to be really frustrating for him. Meanwhile, I decided, okay, you're going to focus all your attention on my wall over here. Then I'm just going to send the bulk of my infantry into your base, and that's what just happened here. I don't even think Wade has realized this yet. I go straight for his market to cripple his economy. I kill his traders to cripple it further, and then I'm going to move into his peasants. And a lot of players who are just starting out, they don't have the attention span to fight a war on two fronts. So if you're a player and you've developed that skill, you have the micro ability to fight on two fronts, I suggest utilizing it and practicing it as much as you can. I'm still new to it myself, but I'm able to do it still. And I would say it's one key ability that you're going to develop if you get into RTS that is going to take you to the next level. So the longbows are really dealing negligible damage to me at this point. I've got level 2 projectile armor on these men-at-arms. They are upgraded, and I am now just ignoring those longbows. Even though I could defeat them with my numbers right now, I'm just going straight for his peasants. And there's really nothing he can do because he doesn't have the right type of damage to deal with these men-at-arms. He really needs some heavy artillery to deal with them. He needs springalds. He needs mangonels. They're just way too armored for his units right now. And you can see that the weight has pretty much fallen apart. I didn't want to be disrespectful in this match. I just wanted to try a little something different and basically defeat my opponent with walls and stone wall towers. And I would say that this has worked out really well. I basically destroyed his economy at this point. He knows it. He lost his army too. And that is GG. I pretty much won that match with only men-at-arms, prelates, and stone wall towers. I was going to bring in some artillery and finish the job, but I thought it was interesting that I could rely only on those 3 units and still take the victory. So I'm currently undefeated in this game, actually, playing online, both in 1v1, 2v2. I'm eagerly awaiting the first player who can defeat me. I don't think I'm amazing at this game or anything. I've got a long way to go, but I am interested to see how high I can climb. And I would really like to lose to an opponent that is better than me. So if any of you guys are watching and you're playing Age of Empires 4 and you think I'm a scrub, send me an invite and let's 1v1. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Thumbs this up, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.